Path of Exile's 3.22 expansion Trial of the Ancestors has been out for over a week, and here, right now, is my first impression. Memes aside, I'm happy playing Path of Exile again. Anyone else? You know, it feels like there was a little bit of a dead 2 months, maybe just for me, and I'm happy I'm back at the game right away, you know. Now, before we jump into the video, I'll have to talk about today's sponsor. Get it? Okay, gameplay-wise, right away, we are being spoiled this league, right? Not only do we have a variety of units to buy before the match, which vary a lot from the slow-ass turtle to units that buff your other units, then you can place them in positions, telling them what they do. Do you want them to flank the enemy or maybe go on the defense to protect your totems, while you just run around and, you know, wreak havoc? 616. Having played the league mechanic right after Linus Watch on day 1, it was very tough with ethereal knives. Reminded me a lot of Sanctum, where things were unkillable for me or took so long, it wasn't even worth doing. Oh my god, I do 0 damage! Why is your AoE the entire battlefield? I need mana! Ma'am! Woof! Okay. I wished GGG could balance around this and really lower those numbers or smooth it out a bit more in future leagues. The league mechanic doesn't have to be so overtuned right out of the gate. Going back to my Act playthrough, I realized when I equipped chain support with my EK, or, well, any, you know, ability that chains or has built-in chain, it's just incredibly strong. The chain works not only on the units, but also the totems themselves. Still, my excitement was short-lived, because as I started winning tournaments and getting some chaos in the acts and early maps, the difficulty started ramping hard. Your rank is displayed when you choose a match, like right now on screen on the bottom right. It doesn't really tell a lot until you hover over it and read the monster level. This is apparently only one factor though. Some people say that there is some hidden value behind that ranking and it scales infinitely. If that is true, that needs to be fixed immediately. Because if you have a rank over 9,000, I mean 1,000, it just becomes super tedious because the units just scale forever, they will never die, or it just takes way too long to kill them and you just stop playing. There currently is no way to decrease your rank manually, which is a bit of a shame, but maybe we see a fix in the next few days. Speaking of, GGG was and still is very active in updating and patching the game. Love seeing the hotfixes on the website. Rewards were also buffed, kind of like always with new leagues. I got a divine during my stream after tournament, so I can't complain. Now, I know that they have to start working on the next league, but if I could wish for a few improvements in the next 1-2 weeks, here are some of them. 1. Silver coins should be taken from the stash. Hi, Daniel here from the future past. Apparently this was either fixed or maybe I just encountered a very rare bug. This is apparently fixed, so ignore what I'm saying. 2. If I think it's a waste of time to continue the match, I should be able to say stop and immediately get thrown out of the arena. 3. Using items on units without having to take them out of the match first. The 4th one, probably the most obvious one, a death timer. I would like to know when I respawn. Please? And the 5th point I want to make... Okay, this is a long one. Strap in, okay? This will take some time. So having spoken about the totem earlier, you know when it's broken and you lay there and you look at your corpse and you just wish you could do anything but that right now? There's like a weird reaction, like a weird emotion where I just want to log out of the game. Like, it's so annoying to me. I don't want to play Path of Exile at that point, right? When I just look at my corpse and I'm like, please, for the love of God, let this match end. To blindside you a little bit, TFT from Riot Games does this quite well, because in that game, if the match goes on for too long, the units are sped up until the match ends. Bit of a zoomer mentality, I get that. So hear me out. So imagine in this example, I just got absolutely annihilated by Kaum. He destroyed my totem, and I lay there, can't respawn, and while I wait, I ponder my orb. Now my idea is, what if, when my totem breaks, there's a ripple effect destroying my other totems and maybe reducing their health by 75%. Now that I died and my totems are reduced by 75%, the enemy team can now destroy my totems quicker, thus ending the match. Thank God. I know this is probably not perfect, because I sometimes won matches after I died. An example that is a bit less extreme and maybe a better solution would be that if I break the main totem of the enemy team, I can break totems 35% faster. This of course works the other way around too. Keep in mind, this was just an idea I have while writing the script, and you know, it might not even be like worth implementing and testing over the next few weeks, because maybe they just want to throw this league out there and fix it a little bit and, you know, move on to the next project. We don't know, you know. If I could have Christmas early and a few wishes, that would be my wish. Now, to finish the gameplay section, the biggest issue, without a doubt, is that I'm way too goddamn weak and suck ass. So I can't really enjoy the league to its fullest, because I think it's just maybe my mindset, but I loved Sanctum, but only after I got like a few million DPS. Ignite DPS, that is. It was just so much more fun when going into Sanctum, seeing the units die in a matter of seconds. So my suggestion is, if you're currently not enjoying the league, no matter if you're in the acts or in endgame, maybe skip it for now, develop your build, get yourself stronger, destroy the regular game, and then come back to the trial. They may have even fixed the ranking issue until then. Moving on to visuals, the league is gorgeous. You know, from the Hall of the Dead to the effects to the units themselves, like everything is just a really high quality. And as said in my Crucible review, I think the textures from PoE 2 are bleeding into the leagues. Abilities from other ancestors look epic, and some animations look like they came straight from PoE 2. There are some improvements I would like to see though. One, units on your team should be visually different than the units on their team. Sometimes a doggo comes up to me and I'm not sure if it's the enemy unit or mine. Two, some big AoE attacks come out of nowhere for me. Maybe it doesn't load properly when you're going away from the attack and then coming back in. Like maybe it unloads some effects. Either way, I hope that can be looked at. And three, the units that explode in your face. Please, can we make that more obvious? Like, for the love of God. You know the ones, right? The suicide bomber that just walks up to you and you're never really sure when they will explode. There is no indicator. I wish there would be maybe some sort of gradient that goes from the toes to their head that makes them more red and glow more a little bit. Just anything. Other than that, the UI and everything else looks clean. I'm very happy how everything looks. Also, did you know that there is an area behind the spawn? Yup, I didn't. I just realized this after recording this footage, so that was a nice surprise. This time, Camille did the music and he gave us 2 new tracks to enjoy. Please listen to them on YouTube, or, you know, turn the music on in the game during the battle, or even in the Hall of the Dead while you're just running around. Maybe listen to some dialogue or get ready for a match. It's amazing as always, and it brought me to tears. Nearly to tears. You know, I'm not crying. I'm not a pussy. Okay, yeah, maybe I am a pussy. You know, I do cry to One Piece OST sometimes. It's so beautiful. Lore enjoyers are eating good this league. Each character has so much dialogue, it's insane.
When they say I have an unconventional fighting style, it is because they do not realize that I am not fighting. I am dancing. I may feel the bite of an axe at any moment, so why not enjoy each sweep and each slash? They have their way. What I have, I call the flow.
It is what I wanted and mentioned in my Crucible review. More dialogue, text and lore, not only a few voice lines and some flavor text. Or worse, nothing at all. Looking at you, Sentinel League. Goddamn did I love Sentinel League from a gameplay perspective, but story and lore, story and who? This time you can actually sit down and listen to everyone for probably over an hour. And most importantly, please listen to Hinekora after each match. She has like so much dialogue and it changes dramatically over the past like 10-15 tournaments that I won. From her being very sleepy to her waking up or something. It's very strange, and to entice you to listen to her dialogue, I have heard her talk about Chaos, Doriani, a thief, probably Sin, and a place she can't see, which sounds like the lake, you know, where Kalandra is. Pretty big heavy lore stuff in this league. It's amazing. Still, Hinekora better not tell me that there was a mirror in some random ass chest in the armory map that I was running 3 years ago. You better not. In conclusion, League good, log in. Trial of the Ancestors, or TOTA for short, just looks like a good league. In my Crucible review, I mentioned that the whole crafting league wasn't my thing. Being a bit of a zoomer and wanting to blast and kill a lot of monsters. This league, though, is kind of like a mix in between. It doesn't have a ton of mobs to destroy, but it's definitely more meaningful combat than blasting maps. Not that I don't enjoy maps, but I like having a league that isn't just more maps, sometimes. If they can do a few improvements, either the ones I mentioned, fix some minor bugs, and generally stay active with hotfixes, I think this league might be a very solid Hinekora's beautiful hair out of 10. Until that, I'll go improve my EK Ignite build, blast some Sanctum, and, you know, just print some Divines. Unless Bingo or Bongo over here stomp my ass. Shut up, Lycia. Toxic dude. Thank you so much for watching my cringe video. I mean my first impression of Trial of the Ancestors. I know it's annoying to hear, but if you actually enjoyed this video, you know, subscribing would be pretty... What do the kids say? For real, on God? 100? Oh, fucking hell. And with this, I wish you a great rest of your week. And don't forget to stay hydrated, gamers.